Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Narayan Rao Kovur. Today in this video we will discuss what is the meaning of a tariff and what are the effects of tariff as an instrument of trade policy. So what is the meaning of a tariff? A tariff is a tax imposed by a government on imported goods or sometimes exported goods also. This is called a tariff. What are the effects of tariffs? Point number 1. Effects on international trade. International trade means trade among the countries or trade between the countries is known as international trade, also called foreign trade, also called external trade. Right. So tariffs creates obstacles to trade. Tariffs creates retard factors to trade. As a result of that, reduce volume of imports and exports. Volume of imports and exports reduced. As a result of that, decreasing overall international trade. Decreasing overall international trade. So that is the first one. Second one, effects on the exporting country. Effects on the exporting country. When importing country imposes a tariff, the exporting country's access to the market becomes limited. When importing country imposes a tariff, the exporting country's access to the market becomes limited. So as a result of that, its export opportunities decreases or declines. The export opportunities declines. Third one is effects on domestic consumer. Effects on domestic consumer. So import tariff increases the prices of imported goods. Import tariff increases the prices of imported goods. As a result of that, consumer buys less quantity. Consumer buys less quantity. So as a result of that, suffer a loss in consumer surplus. Suffer a loss in consumer surplus. So what is the formula for consumer surplus? So consumer surplus is equal to willing price minus actual price. Consumer surplus is equal to willing price minus actual price. What a consumer is ready to pay minus what he actually pays. That is called consumer surplus. So here, import tariff increases the prices of imported goods. As a result, consumer buys less quantity and suffer a loss in consumer surplus. That consumer surplus is equal to willing price minus actual price. Fourth one is effects on producers in the importing country. Effects on producers in the importing country. So with the tariff, foreign competition declines. With the tariff, foreign competition declines. So domestic producers can increase the prices. Domestic producers can increase the prices. So and enjoy a gain in producer surplus. A gain in producer surplus. Producer surplus is equal to actual market price minus minimum willing price, that is cost. Producer surplus is equal to, so producer surplus is equal to actual market price minus minimum willing price. Minimum willing price is called cost. This is called producer surplus. So producer enjoy a gain in producer surplus. Next, another one is Effects on domestic industries. Effects on domestic industries. Tariffs encourage the production and consumption of domestically produced import substitutes. So tariffs encourage the production and consumption of domestically produced import substitutes. Finally, import substitutes. Tariffs encourage import substitutes. And tariffs protect domestic industries. Tariff protect domestic industries. So, and at the same time, so reduce foreign competition. Reduce foreign competition. Firms allow firms to charge higher prices under free trade. So firms to charge higher prices. Next, sixth one, effects on production based on comparative advantage. Comparative advantage means a country has comparative advantage when it can produce a good at lower opportunity cost than another country. This is called comparative advantage. Effects on production based on comparative advantage. Tariffs ignore comparative advantage. Tariffs ignore comparative advantage. And these tariffs discourage efficient production in the rest of the world and encourages relatively inefficient production in the home country. That is the comparative advantage. So this tariff ignore comparative advantage and discourage efficient production in the rest of the world and encourage relatively inefficient production in the home country. That is effects on production based on comparative advantage. And another one is, seventh one is role in government revenue. Role in government revenue. Tariffs generate revenue for the importing country's government through the duties collected on imports. Importing country collected through duties on imports. That is why importing countries' government's revenue generated or increases. Tariffs generate revenue for the importing country's government through the duties collected on imports. That is why government revenue increases. So these are the effects of tariffs as instruments of trade policy. So to conclude, so effects on international trade, effects on the exporting country, effects on domestic consumer, effects on producers in the importing country, effects on domestic industries, effects on production based on comparative advantage, and role in government revenue. So these are the effects of tariffs as in instruments of trade policy. So thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe and comment.